All right, welcome back. Part 2 of the COM 103 Final Exam Study Guide video. We're going to pick up right where we left off at the start of Chapter 17. So Chapter 17 is all about kind of applying some of that information from Chapter 16 to actual persuasive speaking. So the first thing we want to note is that for something to be deemed persuasive speaking, as far as we're concerned, they must be making a claim of fact, value, or policy. So please know the differences between factual, value, and policy claims. Factual claims are claims about whether something is true or false, is going to happen or isn't going to happen, etc. Okay? So a lot of times these factual claims are trying to answer who, what, when, why, or how something happened or will happen. A value claim. This is different. This evaluates something as right or wrong, moral or immoral. Okay, so it's judging the value of something. And then finally, policy claims. These deal with desirable actions. A lot of times they're related to laws or rules. So should this be a required policy? Should this be legal or illegal, etc. All right, so know the differences between those three. Tolman's reasoning model. This is a model that was introduced in Chapter 17 about basically an effective model for persuasive speaking. So know the order, most specifically for the final. You would start by making a claim. Then you would support the claim with evidence. All right, so you make the claim, you back it up with research. Third step is connecting the evidence to the claim. So you have to make it clear how the research is related to the claim that you're making. This is called the warrant. Sometimes that warrant isn't even clear and you have to explain it. You have to explain the connection between the research and the claim. This is called backing. Backing supports or defends the warrant. And then finally, being prepared to deal with rebuttals, either a Q&A session at the end or even if there's not a Q&A session at the end, I think it's very helpful to think about what would be some objections to my claim, what would be some maybe problems that people would have with it, and address those right within the speech. Deal with rebuttals within the content of the speech. So that's Tolman's reasoning model and the order. Specific purpose of a persuasive speech is the purpose to convince or to actuate? Well, it depends. A convincing purpose is appropriate when your audience doesn't believe your claim or accept your value judgment. All right. So a lot of times this deals with factual and value claims that you're making, and you're trying to convince the audience to change their mind. While an actuation purpose deals with actually wanting your audience to change their actions or do something. Okay. So if my purpose was to get everybody to always recycle water bottles every time from here on out, that would be an actuation purpose. I'm wanting my audience to actually change their behaviors. All right. Monroe's motivated sequence is the last thing that you need to know from Chapter 17, and this is another 5-step pattern that you need to know in order. Interestingly enough, this is the same pattern we use in radio production for the development of commercial scripts. And I just think that's interesting that was kind of taken from Monroe's motivated sequence, which has been around a long time as a great pattern for persuading people to do something like buying a product. So the Monroe's motivated sequence starts with grabbing their attention. Then you create a need. Then you satisfy that need within the content. Visualization means having the audience visualize a future where this need has been satisfied. And then finally, a final call to action. So attention, need, satisfaction, visualization, and call to action are the 5 steps. Okay, to wrap up the new content from the second half of the semester, we're going to take a look at Chapter 18. Chapter 18 is about special occasion speaking, and this is where we draw our final speech from, the tribute speech. So main thing you need to know is just the different types of special occasion speeches and what they are. An introduction is a speech that simply provides information about new people. A farewell is when you or someone else leaves a group. An announcement is a speech that keeps people informed and or motivated, used a lot in the workplace. Nominations are essentially brief, persuasive speeches. Awards, this could be either accepting an award or giving an award. A eulogy is a speech given at a funeral, and note that if I ask you what is possibly the hardest speech to give of all, a eulogy would be the proper answer there. These are very difficult speeches to give, and you'll see a question on that on the final. Tributes, what you guys are doing for your final speech in Com 103, a tribute praises the qualities of a person or a thing. Commemorative speaking. Now, we're kind of combining a tribute and commemorative speaking together. When we talk about commemorative speaking, we're talking about inspiring or reinforcing beliefs and values. And the idea is, in something like the tribute speech for Com 103, you're praising the qualities of a person or a thing, but at the same time, you're inspiring the audience, hopefully, and connecting values that that person or thing has to your speech. All right. And then finally, the speech to inspire. This uses what we call the exemplum pattern. The exemplum pattern states a quote. It identifies the source of the quote, then it rephrases the quote in your own words, and then it applies the quote to the topic throughout the speech. So this is just a pattern or a technique that persuasive speakers use specifically for speeches to inspire, where you might start with a quote and then tie the whole speech kind of around that quote or idea and keep linking back to it throughout. Finally, to wrap up chapter 18, just understand the importance of using vivid and creative language in inspirational and tribute speaking. That's what I'm going to be looking for in that final speech. All right, that is all of the content from the second half of the semester. Please note that on the final exam study guide, there is terms listed here for all of the content from the first half of the semester. And all of this stuff is defined and covered in the midterm exam study guide videos. You can go back a few weeks in Cobra and find those to help you study this content from the first half of the semester. Hopefully this video has been helpful. You can use it once again to take notes and prepare yourself for the final exam. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck. Thanks a lot.